Hey everybody, it's Todd with Wayfinder Realty, your host for Sold on Flavor. This week I have a very special treat. I'm going to be making my homemade stuffing or dressing, however you want to call it, right? It's a buttered rum with sausage, sage, and apples in it. It is absolutely delicious. I've been perfecting this recipe for over 30 years. If you've ever gone at something a long time and just came up with the right solution, this is it. And I'm very glad to be sharing that with you today. So I'm going to make an absorbent amount as I normally do. I will put a human side portion in the comments down below, ingredients and recipe for you to follow along. But the techniques are still the same. It's not a hard recipe. My wife found out that we were making it, and then she said, well, let's have some big stuffed chicken with that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'll pound the chicken flat, wrap it around the stuffing, bake it off. We'll do some red bliss potatoes, and I'll make a simple country gravy for that. But that's my dinner tonight. But the showcase of this video is the dressing or stuffing, right? So it's dressing until you put it into something, and then it becomes stuffing, right? So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, obviously, the hero of good stuffing, in this case, it's a bread stuffing, and obviously you could have rice stuffing, is your breadcrumbs. Now, normally, what I'll do is I'll have both the herb and I'll have cornbread. They didn't have the cornbread stuffing. Doesn't matter. We're going to upgrade. We're just going to put actual cornbread in. And then I have just a regular loaf, a buttered bread loaf that we're going to put in. I have my Jimmy Dean regular sausage, better than beef bouillon, rum, Granny Smith apples, onions, and celery. So without further ado, let's get into the prep. Next up, I have... the box is falling apart. Mrs. Bell's poultry seasoning. So just a little bit of that. 2 pounds of sausage. And I chopped some fresh sage here. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm just going to brown that up and put it aside. My sausage is just about browned up. A little bit of caramelization going on there. And again, all that's in here is poultry seasoning and fresh chopped sage. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my 2 pounds of sausage. Again, you'll probably do one if you're going to do a regular batch. And just dumping the whole thing in. Okay. Not draining it. The whole thing just goes right in. All right. And then really, as I'm building my stuffing, all I'm doing is I'm going to feed this pot. So next up, I'm going to sweat my onions and celery. 2 large white onions, about a half a bunch, a little more than a half bunch, 3/4 of a bunch of celery, diced up. Just going to cook those down, make them translucent, sweat them, if you will. And while that's going on, I need to break down the bread. Very simple, right in the pot. Call this my secret ingredient. I've used lots of different types of rum. I've used the spiced rum. This is just clear rum. About a cup. I'm going to let that cook down a little bit, get some of the alcohol out of it. And then once that cooks down, I'm going to add my butter for my melted butter. And also I have better than bouillon, and I'm making my chicken broth as well. So this is just my rum. It's been cooking down for a little bit. Now I'm going to add my poultry seasoning in. Take that off the heat for a second. Lower the heat. And then we're going to add our butter in there. All right, I am going to do 4 sticks of butter. So just let that melt. I have my chicken broth here. That all goes in. Give it a stir. There's my rum and melted butter. Stir that up. Very last ingredient is my apples, which gives it a nice crunch. Now the last thing to do is bake this off. You normally want to bake it for about an hour. This is something you can do. Let's say you made a little bit too much. That's not the case here, but I used to make this for my wife's grandmother and for my mom too. This is a great dish. You take a ball of stuffing like that, and I've already pounded these chicken breasts flat. You roll it up like that and just put it in the dish. And we're going to brush it with butter and poultry seasoning. But you can individually wrap these, and then you've done your meal prep. So you do on a Sunday, you mix up. It's not hard to make stuffing. You make the stuffing ahead of time. So as I was saying, you can make these just like this. You can even put them in the freezer uncooked, pop them out, and they're an easy dish. You can keep them in the aluminum foil, bake them in the oven, and you have a meal. So I got some melted butter. Just going to drizzle this on top. And a little bit of poultry seasoning on top. I'm going to make a country gravy a little later on. Hey everybody, it's Todd with Wayfinder Realty, your host for Sold on Flavor. This week, my homemade buttered rum stuffing. This is a meal to be shared with a friend in your new home. If I can be of help, give me a call. If you like what you're seeing, please leave a comment. Feel free to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. I look forward to next week. Until then, take care.